I'm a jack of all trades, a Tanya of all trades, and I think that is partly because I've got this high need for variety in life. Anyway, my parents immigrated from the former Yugoslavia back in 1958. They came with my brother, and they had a really tough few years. So I'm a first generation New Zealander. Me and my other two brothers were born here in New Zealand. And we were farmers up in Dargaville, up in Northland. So we grew up in quite a multicultural environment. It was quite amazing. And when I was 8, our house burnt to the ground. We lost everything. So that was quite a tragic event. And it was then that my parents decided to move down to Auckland. And we did that when I was 8. I won't lie, it was a scary time for me, being in the big smoke. And so I've been in Auckland ever since. I didn't really think about what is it that I want to do. I just did what I was good at, and I was good at maths and economics and that sort of thing. So I did a Bachelor of Commerce, and I studied to be an accountant. And I actually really loved it. I was good at it, but there was a part of me that really needed to spread my wings. And I then went out on my own. In my mid-20s, I left quite a safe corporate job, and I went out on my own as a contract accountant. And back in those days, MYOB was first coming into the country, and the guy who was importing it said, "Hey Tanya, do you want to help me sell this new software called MYOB?" And that was what I did. I became a computer consultant, just specializing in accounting software. As a teenager, I struggled with body dysmorphia and things associated with that, and that veered into my 20s. And I did a lot of work on myself. In my 30s, I then had to face the grief of infertility, and that was a really big thing. And having to deal with that is what led me to then go and study to be a counsellor, because I feel that was what helped me grieve not having my own children. Little did I know that that was going to be an apprenticeship for the big one that hit me at 40 when my husband was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and he died 5 months later. So I went from counselling to then being a life coach and a business coach. And I ended up writing the book that my late husband Phil wanted to write about his journey. So that was when I had my first 2 books published, and then I went out on the speaking circuit, did more coaching. My need for variety took me back into a bit more corporate world. And from there, I've just been doing my own work in the last few years, and have just recently published another couple of books, mainly about grief and also the journey with food and the problems a lot of people have in that area. Interestingly, about 3 years ago, I found myself to be a political orphan, and I started looking around at other parties. I've always voted for the same party all of my life, and I was just not happy. And so I started looking around, and then I discovered New Zealand First was coming back in the next election. So I went back and read all of their policies through their website, and I couldn't believe that I'd never voted for them before. So that is why New Zealand First is the party for me now. They embraced all New Zealanders. They really do stand by their name, where they put all New Zealanders first. And I really believe in helping people who struggle to help themselves. And I just really resonated with that part of them as well. On the day that I'll be open and honest, I said a little prayer and I said, "Okay, God, if you want me to get into politics, you'll show me how." And I kid you not, within 2 hours after that, I met with a colleague. Coincidentally, we were meeting on that day, and he said to me, "You know New Zealand First is coming back, don't you?" And I went, "No, I thought he'd retired. They put on a big retirement party for him." And he went, "No, he's coming back." And it was literally within that couple of hours that we had this conversation, and then that night I went and read up about New Zealand First, and it was just like that. I have huge respect for Winston because of his longevity. I just admire his tenacity, his grit, his strength, and his dedication. He could be putting up his feet right now, but he's not. He's really standing up because he knows this is the most important time in New Zealand's history, the most important election. So I have huge respect for him for doing that. I just felt, when I went to the convention, I just felt this family feel, and have been very close to a lot of the people since then. And the more I get to know them, it feels like one big whānau. And there's a lot of humour within the party. There's some people there with really dry senses of humour, and I just love that. So I just see the community. There's none of this one-upmanship, elbowing each other out. It really is a team effort. They are not dividing the country. You don't hear Winston talking about this group or that group and dividing them. He is really trying to bring the people of New Zealand back together during a time of great division, whether it be within the health system, whether it be within mandates, whether it be with all of the other things that are slowly getting pushed through. Winston is actually doing the opposite, and he's the only one with the guts to speak it out loud. You know, I'm noticing that he doesn't care what the others are going to say when he says this is not okay. He's just standing up for all New Zealanders. So that is what I love about him. The type of politician I'm going to be is one for the people. I'm going to listen to what it is that they want and need, not devise a policy that is going to be a brand new shiny thing that is going to attract votes for me. It is about going out there and discovering what do the people want and need, listening to them, and then delivering. Lost both of my parents in the last couple of years, and they did not die with dignity. I don't want to see that happen to anyone else in New Zealand, especially the seniors who I feel are they're forgotten. They deserve to live this next stage of their lives with dignity, to be taken care of and treated with respect. I do not want a repeat of what I saw happen with my parents, and that is a big driver for me. What am I nervous about? Look, there was a part of me that was a little bit scared about going into the public arena and being open to all the trolls and all that out there, but you know, hurt people hurt people. And if I can some way help those people who are hurting, who are keyboard warriors on the other end, by showing a different approach and responding with compassion and mercy and kindness, then that's a good thing, right? My name is Tanya Unkovich, your candidate for Epsom. Party vote, New Zealand first.